And off we go. Here he comes. Terrell Owens and the Dallas Cowboys are here in Philadelphia. The place Donovan McNabb calls home. And welcome to this NFC East divisional battle between the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles. And now welcome to the second half of our Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader. That's right, the perfect storm is here. Not only the Dallas Cowboys, the much hated Dallas Cowboys, but they bring with them, of course, Terrell Owens, who is here and was being ridden the entire pregame by this crowd at the link. And Troy Aikman, here you are, and I think you can make the mistake, and I know the Dallas Cowboys hope that the Eagles will do it, but they won't, of thinking that this game is just about Terrell Owens. The Cowboys are much more than that.
There's no question. I mean, there's no doubt that Terrell Owens has received a lot of attention this week for obvious reasons, yet talking with the Eagles, the player they're most concerned with is Terry Glenn. He's their big play guy. He has been all season long. Now, whether it is Terry Glenn or Terrell Owens, in order for Drew Bledsoe to be able to get the ball into either one of their hands, he's going to have some protection up front. He has had that this season, but I don't know that this Cowboys offensive line has faced a pass rush like they're going to face today with the Eagles.
Yeah, let's talk about the Philadelphia Eagles. Dante Stallworth is out with his bad hamstring, not available. However, they do get Brian Westbrook back. He did not play in Monday night's game, and looking at him moving around before the game, he looks good. They need him today.
They do need him, and yet it's always been about Donovan McNabb when you're talking about the Philadelphia Eagles offensively. They're going to go as they go. He's off to a great start this year. He's playing as if he has something to prove. Whether he does or not, I don't know, but I do feel like he thinks he has something to prove here today. I do believe, however, that this game for the Eagles is going to come down to how well they do defensively. Again, can they get pressure on Drew Bledsoe?
We look at an updated NFC Eastern Division standing, and you see that the Eagles are on top at 3-1. Dallas 2-1. And it's updated because the Giants at home took care of Washington. So now it's the Redskins at the bottom with a record of 2-3. Sweezum will kick off, not Vanderjagt. And the Eagles will start with a football. Dexter Wynn takes it for Philadelphia. A little room to run, and not a bad return. Gets it out to the 28. Jack Reeves on the tackle, and Donovan McNabb, as Troy said, playing like he has something to prove. His numbers are great. He's #1 in the National Football League in passing yards, and #1 with his 9 touchdowns. The offensive line, which will protect him, as Troy also said, has done a nice job trying to open up some holes for Westbrook. And we'll give you those names and faces if we can after this first play. Eagles open up in 4 wide. And McNabb drops it down to Westbrook with some blocking in front of him. Westbrook into Dallas territory.
Well, Philadelphia comes out. You're right, Joe. They go 4 wide, and then they throw it to the 1 receiver side. You see Brian Westbrook there. The offensive line out in front of him. Sean Andrews does a heck of a job leading the way. I tell you what, get the ball into the hands of Brian Westbrook, test that knee early, and see if he's going to hold up.
You had some great guards block for you in Dallas, but I know you would have enjoyed having Sean Andrews blocking and protecting you.
He reminds me a lot of a guy that did block for me, Larry Allen.
Little play action from McNabb all day. Westbrook again. Nice move. And he loses the football. Picked up by Dallas and Roy Williams. So 2 big plays to Brian Westbrook. And on this second, he had enough for a first down and then coughed up the football, and it's an early turnover, and Dallas will have great field position at their own 38.
Little reminiscent of what happened in last Monday night's game against the Green Bay Packers, the way they turned it over. Brian Westbrook's got the ball in his inside arm. It did not look like a defender got his hand on the ball when it came out.
Like Patrick Watkins might have forced it as Westbrook coughs it up. And now Bledsoe throws for Glenn. And Terry Glenn, who's having another fantastic start, makes the catch, a gain of 7 yards. So you've got Glenn, who is known as the deep threat, a guy who was number 2 in the NFL last year in yards per catch. And if they want to focus on Terrell Owens, then Witten and Glenn should have huge days here in Philly.
And because they do have so many weapons on the offensive side of the ball for Dallas, it's imperative that the Eagles get pressure on Drew Bledsoe.
Second down and 3. Bledsoe with time flips it to no one.
I tell you, Joe, I'm not so sure they shouldn't call intentional grounding. Nobody in the area on that throw. Drew Bledsoe still within the pocket when he let it go, and there comes the flag.
Intentional grounding, number 11, offense. 10-yard penalty, loss of down, 3rd down.
So Bledsoe had time in the pocket, but the Eagles, without bringing pressure, are able to cover up the receivers very well. It looked like maybe he was thinking about coming underneath to Julius Jones, but Matt McCoy was there on coverage, and Drew just threw it away. But because he was within the pocket, that's why the intentional grounding was called.
Brings up 3rd down and 13. Make it 3rd down and 18. Mark Colombo moved.
False start, number 75 offense. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
We have a new audience joining us. You saw that score flash by with the Rams getting their 4th win of the year, 23-20 at Green Bay. Here, 2 plays from the Eagles on offense. Brian Westbrook fumbled on the second play. And now it's 3rd and 18 for Dallas. Bledsoe, Barber out of the backfield. Short of the 1st down. Sheldon Brown was there. Michael Lewis was there. A gain of 14 and a punt coming from the Cowboys.
Well, it was a nice defensive stand there, 3rd and long. The Eagles decided to go to cover 2 and put 2 guys on each of the wide receivers, Terrell Owens and Terry Glenn, knowing that then Bledsoe would have to throw underneath, which he did. And when you do that, you've got to be able to come and make the tackle, and the Eagles were able to do that also.
Matt McBriar had to punt only 1 time last week at Tennessee. Goes right through his hands. Ball is still loose, and the Eagles have it down inside the 15. Barber on the recovery, and they'll mark him just inside the 12. LP Ladouceur is the long snapper. Looked like it went right through the hands of McBriar.
Yeah, it was a good snap, Joe. It just went right through his hands. And then when you're in this position, had he been able to pick it up clean right there, maybe he gets away and is still able to put a punt on the ball. But once he was unable to pick it up clean, then you've just got to go down on it and protect the ball and keep the Eagles from getting it. Obviously, something that Matt McBriar does not work on.
From the 12, quick throw, Hank Baskett. Wrestled down by Anthony Henry, a gain of 7. So I guess the net result is the Eagles fumble with Westbrook. They give it to the Cowboys. A couple of penalties, a grounding call against Bledsoe, the false start, and then McBriar has it go right through his paws.
Yeah, and when you get into a game like this, I mean, 2 heavyweights within the division, oftentimes special teams is going to be what determines the outcome. Little would you think that it would be because of a fumble by the punter.
2nd and 3. Westbrook Bouncing it to the corner, to the end zone, and a good start for Philadelphia.
Well, you watch Brian Westbrook. He gets bottled up right there. DeMarcus Ware gets caught inside. And then as you see, Brian Westbrook able to outrun everybody to the goal line. A great job by Reggie Brown, wide receiver, blocking downfield, which gave him the lane.
7-0 Eagles. Westbrook did not play on Monday night in Philadelphia's win over Green Bay. He's been bothered by a bone bruise on his right knee. They don't know if there's any cartilage damage. He keeps ballooning up, and he has been the focal point of the Eagles offense here in the early going.
Well, watch Reggie Brown on Aaron Glenn, and as you see, Aaron Glenn trying to get there to the corner to meet Westbrook before he gets to the pylon. A great job by the Eagles wide receivers downfield and allowing Westbrook to get into the end zone. Jason Avant, the other wide receiver in the slot, also doing a good job blocking.
So the mishandled long snap by McBriar. Westbrook and the Eagles bounce it right into the end zone. Philadelphia comes into this game with a top-ranked offense in the NFL. They should be tested today by this big and talented Dallas defense. They were just given a short field, the Eagles were, and they capitalized starting at the Dallas 12. Andy Reid dialed it up. 2 plays and a touchdown.
Well, that's one of the things that Brian Westbrook is so known for, that he's got terrific speed. So far, he's gotten the ball a lot in his hands here in the first 2 possessions. It appears, anyway, that the knee's going to be okay today, but a nice job of execution by him, not seeing anything in the middle, and then being able to bounce it to the goal line.
Akers drills it. Abram Elam on the return. We have a new audience joining us, and you have missed some action. The key plays. McBriar couldn't handle the snap. Gave the ball to Philadelphia at the Dallas 12. Then after a completion, the run by Westbrook to the corner of the end zone, and 7-0 Philadelphia. Now Dallas trying to answer. Blitz. Cowboys, it's knocked out of the hand of Drew Bledsoe and recovered by the Eagles. The play is dead back at the 14-yard line, but the Eagles will take over after Bledsoe had it knocked away by Darwin Walker.
Well, the Cowboys, they go empty set. There's nobody here in the backfield, and what that means is the offensive line is 5 guys blocking and trying to block 5. Everybody's one-on-one. Mike Patterson comes right through the offensive line and puts the hit on Bledsoe as he gets ready to let the ball go. You're going to see Patterson come in from his blind side there and hits the ball just as Drew Bledsoe's arm was starting to go forward.
Yeah, and people will say, well, his arm was going forward, but they call that an empty hand. The ball was out of the right hand of Bledsoe. So forget the arm. The ball is out right there. Forget the arm coming forward. And what a terrific start for Philadelphia. Now at the Dallas 14-yard line, and this is Moats. And the little running back, Ryan Moats, who became part of the Eagles' attack on Monday night against Green Bay. 7 carries, 22 yards, and last year a 3rd-round pick. Picks up 3.
Well, you talk about some emotion to start this ball game and everything going in the favor of the Philadelphia Eagles. After the fumble, all of a sudden they get the ball right back, they score the touchdown, and then they get the fumble by Drew Bledsoe. only to then keep this crowd at a fever pitch.
Yeah, that's a big part of it. Dallas unable to quiet this crowd here at the start. McNabb fires and completes to L.J. Smith, his tight end, down inside the 10. A gain of only 1. It's third down. The Philadelphia Eagles have lost 7 straight NFC Eastern Division games. And we were here in week 2 when they blew a late lead and watched the Giants come back from the dead and beat them in overtime.
Then, of course, last year, going back to the season they had then where they got swept in all of their divisional games. And then losing the first divisional game of this year makes this game even that much more important.
They're down at 6. Rolling right, throwing back across the field and incomplete. Trying to set up a screen for L.J. Smith. It's fourth down, and for the Dallas defense, that's a big hole.
It sure is. When you give the ball to the opposing offense with great field position, like the Eagles got, for this Cowboys defense to hold them to only a field goal is huge.
Crowd is reacting, talking about hold. Looked like DeMarcus Ware had a hold of the jersey of L.J. Smith, didn't let him get out. There it is, number 94, and that little hold of the jersey meant the end of the play. 27-yard try by Akers. It's 10-zip. Fast start for the Eagles. Couple of Dallas miscues. McNabb wanted to hold. They don't get the call. They do get 3 and lead by 10.
Fox NFL Sundays, sponsored by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 41.
Donovan McNabb and all the pressure that's on him with Terrell Owens across the sideline, and Drew Bledsoe doesn't look too happy, does he? After a 4-play drive, it covered only 5 yards, so the Dallas defense did a nice job in keeping Philadelphia to a field goal, but it's been a backward start for the Cowboys. They'll get it again. Tyson Thompson on the return. Little room to run. Considine chasing him. Akers chasing him in great field position. For the Dallas Cowboys, a 41-yard return, and David Akers, who likes to mix it up week after week after week, there to make the stop. 10-0 Philadelphia. Third possession for Dallas, and they have 7 yards of offense. And they hand the ball off for the first time to Julius Jones. And Jones gets 10. Michael Lewis on the stop. And Julius is off to the best start of his young career, coming off a big day at Tennessee. 122 yards and averaging 4.8 yards per carry. Was literally able to pick up 10, and it depends on the spot as to whether it's a first down or not.
Well, Julius Jones, he showed good patience on that last run, and as you said, Joe, last week coming off a big game, his first 100-yard day of the season. He hasn't had a lot of those during his young career, but you know, you get the feeling the Cowboys, Bill Parcells, are just ready for this guy to really emerge and be a factor week in and week out. He's had some injuries during his career. That's an issue, but they want him to be a workhorse that they can rely on week after week.
They toss it to Jones, picking his way through this Eagles defense, and he's knocked down just shy of the Philly 40. Let's go to Chris Rose for a game break.
Hey, Joe, you think the Eagles are off to a nice start? How about that of Matt Leinart? His first NFL start, 6 of his first 7, 89 yards and 2 touchdowns. That to Larry Fitzgerald to give him a 14-0 lead over Kansas City. Back to Joe, Troy, and Pam.
All right, Chris, if he gets off to a solid start, how many teams are going to be thinking back to draft day when they had a shot at him? Bledsoe wide open is Terry Glenn. Not covered at all, and he is wrestled down by Lito Shepherd inside the Philadelphia 30. They'll mark him at the 27.
There's going to be a little bit of a cat and mouse game going on between this Eagles secondary and these wide receivers. Both Terry Glenn and Terrell Owens were singled on that play. As you see on the outside, Sheldon Brown with Terrell Owens. Drew Bledsoe had his choice on that particular throw as to where he wanted to go with the football because coverage was balanced.
And it's really, Troy, up to Drew Bledsoe and this defense how big of a day Terrell Owens is going to have. So far, Bledsoe hasn't even looked in his direction as Julius Jones hits the hole hard and knocks it down inside the 25 to the 23. Trotter on the stop, a gain of 4.
Yeah, I think one of the real storylines for this game is going to be how the Eagles defensively decide that they want to play Terry Glenn and how they want to play Terrell Owens. We said coming in, Terry Glenn's the guy that they fear the most because he has the most big play potential, and he's the guy that Drew Bledsoe feels most comfortable throwing the ball to. They're going to vary it up. They're going to double one guy sometimes. They're going to double the other guy at others.
2nd and 6. Good drive being put together by Dallas. That's Witten. And Witten has a first down for the Cowboys at the 13-yard line of the Eagles.
You know, on that particular play, they double both the outside wide receivers, and so when they're going to do that, Witten has got to be the guy who's going to win in the middle because that's where the defense is then vulnerable. As you see, the linebackers, Dhani Jones and Jeremiah Trotter, they're the guys that have to take that away then from Jason Witten. They failed to do so on that play, and that's why he was as open as he was.
You know what Terrell Owens is thinking about with the Cowboys this close to the Eagles end zone as Julius Jones pushing the pile down inside the 10. They'll mark him just shy of the 8. So far, Terrell Owens, Troy, has 104 career touchdowns. This season he has 1. And you can say a lot of things about Terrell Owens, but he is a true tough guy. And we watched what he did in the Super Bowl a couple of years ago for Philly against New England, coming back from a broken leg, and then last week playing after the bye week and a broken bone in his hand.
Yeah, 2 weeks after breaking his hand, he comes out and has a big game last week against Tennessee.
2nd down and 6, and this is Jones. Julius Jones has a first down. It'll be 1st and goal from the 1. Jeremiah Trotter on the stop, and this is exactly what the Cowboys needed.
Well, this offensive line has really done a good job all season long in the running game. You're going to see the way that they get a little bit of a push there. Lasaka Polite leading the way. There's the hole. A big hole for Julius Jones. In the past, the Cowboys have always wanted to run the football. They didn't run it particularly well. This year they're running it a lot, and they're having success when they do so.
Brian Dawkins is across from Terrell Owens at the top of your screen. From the 1. Julius Jones comes up inches shy. 2nd and goal.
This is a good drive right now for the Dallas Cowboys. They've been able to mix in some passes. They've mixed in the run. They've run the ball well, and they've run it out of a lot of different personnel groupings. That's going to be the key for them today if they can remain balanced as they have on this drive.
That's Owens. Struggling to get the ball into the arms of Jones, and Julius lost yardage.
Joe, there was a definite miscommunication there between Drew Bledsoe and Julius Jones. Drew Bledsoe is going to start to the right as if that's where the handoff's going to take place. He's looking for him there. Julius Jones looked like he wasn't even expecting to receive the ball at all. Fortunately, Bledsoe was able to get it back to him, and then Julius Jones held on.
3rd and goal. Barber will walk in for the touchdown. The Cowboys spread him out, and Bledsoe put it right in the gut of Marion Barber, who scoots in for his 3rd rushing touchdown.
And so far, that's how the Cowboys have been able to run the ball effectively, is they've gone to 3 wide receivers, as you said, Joe. They spread them out. They made it look like it was going to be passed, and then they hand the ball to Marion Barber off the left tackle.
Vanderjagt High snap, and Mike knocks it through. So a 10-0 Philadelphia start. The Cowboys, after the good return by Tyson Thompson, take it down the field, and on 3rd and goal, pound it in with Marion Barber. 10-7 Eagles.
NFL Sunday is sponsored by Lexus and the new 303 horsepower GS 350. By Samsung, the official HD TV of the NFL. By UPS, what can Brown do for you? And by Subway Restaurants. Subway, eat fresh.
There's some of the numbers from the scoring drive for Dallas as they make it a 3-point game. A 10-play drive, a good one for the Cowboys, exactly what they needed, and it was set up by a 41-yard kickoff return by Tyson Thompson. Dexter Wynn from about the 10 to the 29. So now it's Donovan McNabb and company back to the field, up by 3. If you want to join us, it's up and running this week. Our chat room, you can join in. Log on to foxsports.com, keyword chat. Screen name Philly Fool. T.O. is the most overhyped, overblown decoy I've ever seen so far in this game. That's accurate. Haven't even looked his way. And on 1st down, a gain of 2 by Westbrook. And down on the field, braving the elements, is Pam Oliver. Hi, Pam.
Hey there, Joe. You see all this right here? This isn't normal. This is a part of the heightened police presence that you see here today. We're talking the Philadelphia Eagles, the Philadelphia Police, NFL security are all here today to make sure that most of the action stays on the field today. I spoke with a gentleman who described himself as someone who is shadowing T.O. the entire time. Whenever he comes off the field, this gentleman will be here. So what they're trying to do, according to a police official I spoke with today, is to treat this like a playoff game. They do not want their city embarrassed.
That's Reggie Brown. Thank you, Pam, making the catch and picking up a 1st down for Philadelphia. Anthony Henry on the stop, a gain of 8, and Harriman's gets Gimpy. I would say this. I was out there for Fox NFL Sunday, our pregame show. The way the crowd has behaved to this point, including really earlier today and all day during the pregame warm-ups, it's been, you know, there's emotion flowing through this stadium, but it's been very civil for the most part.
Yeah, and I don't know why anybody thought it would be other than that, right?
Really?
Yeah, I mean, come on.
So says the Hall of Fame Dallas Cowboy quarterback after I spent an hour out in front of the crowd with his former head coach, Jimmy Johnson, who still has a welt on his head. McNabb airs it out. Basket lays out and can't haul it in. And now can't get up.
Well, Hank Baskett is a guy who was originally drafted by the Minnesota Vikings. He was involved in a trade, and that's how he got here to the Eagles. They really like him here in Philadelphia. You see, he landed right on the ball. It looked like he might have gotten the wind knocked out of him. As you see, he has it. He cradles it, goes to the ground, and he lands right on top of it. He's a little shaken up.
So we will take a break, and Troy will tell me what he really thinks, but just to me, not to you, as we take a timeout. Troy, I think you nailed that one, that it looked like Baskett got the wind knocked out of him, and he is standing next to Dante Stallworth, a big weapon that's not available to the Eagles today.
Yeah, and Hank Baskett, he's disappointed in himself that he didn't bring that one in, because in a game like this, big plays are what determine whether or not you're going to score points. That puts him right down in there in position to come away with points on this drive had he been able to catch it.
Instead, it's 2nd and 10, and just getting rid of it is McNabb. Out across the 45, close to the 46 is Westbrook, and Terrence Newman was about a step away from delivering a big hit on Donovan McNabb while he still had the ball.
I tell you, watch the Philadelphia Eagles, and not just this game, but you know, the games they've had now for a number of years under Andy Reid. They're one of the best screen teams, if not the best screen team in the National Football League. There was a time where I thought the Packers were the best, but here in recent years, they do a terrific job, run a lot of different screens out of various personnel groupings, makes it hard on this defensive front.
Maybe one of the reasons why they're good on third down. Coming off the edge, it's Ware. DeMarcus Ware went right around Thomas and picks up the sack, a loss of 8. It's fourth down.
Well, DeMarcus Ware has unbelievable speed off the corner, and if you're coming off the edge and the tackle doesn't get out of there fast enough, you see once he gets his left shoulder by William Thomas, Thomas has no chance at that point, and then it's just a matter of whether or not McNabb can get it out of his hands.
Punt by Johnson, and on the dead run, Patrick Creighton hauls it in and is knocked out of bounds at the 40. 32-yard punt, 10-yard return. Good field position for Drew Bledsoe with his team down 3. And that's at 8 Eastern right here on Fox. A huge day of sports on this network. Knifing through and making the play is Darren Howard. In the backfield, knocking Julius Jones for a 4-yard loss.
Well, what a good acquisition Darren Howard has been. You see him come through. He just gets right off the block and is able to meet Julius Jones there in the backfield. I mean, this defensive front for the Philadelphia Eagles is a pretty dominating group. And they've got a second group that comes in at times, and they're every bit as dominant as what their first team is.
All of that without Javon Curse, who they lost in week 2 in that Giants game. And more pressure on Bledsoe. The ball is up for grabs, and Dawkins comes across, intercepts it. Philadelphia takes over, and it was Darren Howard again hitting Bledsoe as he threw the ball up into the air.
Well, you're going to see Drew Bledsoe. He's going to go to his neck with a signal, and the signal is kill, kill. You're going to see it here. And what that means is he wants maximum protection because he sees blitz, and he wants to get the ball out. Jeremiah Trotter was the one who was coming along with Michael Lewis. Now Darren Howard again beats his man and is the one responsible for hanging it up. And then Brian Dawkins coming back and making a play. Now it looked to me like Terrell Owens should have been able to come back and at least make an attempt to keep that ball from being intercepted.
Yeah, I agree, and I would also say that's the first time that Bledsoe has even looked in his direction here in this first quarter. 46 seconds left. And another turnover by the Dallas Cowboys. This is Buckhalter, and he cannot get around DeMarcus Ware, who has great quickness.
You know, coming in, Joe, we talked about how important it was going to be for this Philadelphia defense in order to get pressure on Drew Bledsoe. This offensive line for the Cowboys coming in had done a great job. Bledsoe sacked only 3 times. Only one quarterback in the National Football League sacked fewer times coming into this game. 1 sack today, but they have certainly harassed him.
You get pressure up front, you can take the heat off your secondary, which is banged up. They just got Lito Shepherd back. They're playing without Rod Hood. Just showed Terrell Owens on the big screen here. Out to the 45 is Westbrook. A gain of 5, and that's the end of the first quarter. 3rd down for Philadelphia at their own 45. When we come back, 10-7 Eagles. Back after this. Well, here is the pressure up front on Drew Bledsoe so far after a quarter of play. He's been sacked once. He's thrown the interception. He's been hit a couple of times, hurried twice.
Well, they talk about the Eagles secondary, and yeah, they're banged up. They come into this game with some injuries, but if he can't have time to pick apart that secondary, then we're going to see what's happened so far today.
False start against the Eagles.
False start. Number 71 offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
That is Scott Young. We saw Todd Harriman's leaving earlier. Scott Young is guilty of the false start. Now, how about this? After what they did to the Seattle Seahawks, the Bills had actually played well. Look at this today, 40-7. The Bears are putting up 40 points, and Rex Grossman is off to that kind of a start. 182 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions.
I think last week's game against Seattle got a lot of people's attention. If it didn't, this win certainly will.
3rd down and 11 now for Donovan McNabb, who's in a little trouble and has to take a seat. Laying on top of him is Jay Ratliff. A loss of 6, and 4th down coming up.
You know, pretty good Pretty good protection up front that time for Donovan McNabb. He just didn't have anywhere to go with the football. This Cowboys defense really does not have a lot of holes. They're awfully good with their front seven, their secondary, their top 3 corners are, in my opinion, as good as anybody's in the league. They did a good job on that possession.
Johnson punts it. Creighton takes it. And a penalty flag is down on the return by Patrick Creighton. Good field position. Again, the flag is all the way back at the Philadelphia 35.
During the kick, holding, number 51 of the receiving team. 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. First down, Dallas.
So that will take some of that good field position away. We just saw Donovan McNabb have time. One of the big parts of his game last week in the win over Green Bay was him running the football, and he got back to that a little bit. He does have Westbrook today. It'll be interesting to see how they keep him contained.
It will. I mean, you talk about this Eagles wide receiver group, and without Dante Stallworth, it's a factor. And so you want to take advantage of your matchups. To do that, you really have to go man-to-man coverage because of the way the Eagles play their offense. But when you go man-to-man, you give Donovan the opportunity to run the football like he did last week against the Packers.
Bledsoe with time just throws it away in the direction of his fullback, Polite. Let's go to Chris Rose for a game break.
All right, Joe, the Jags trying to snap a 2-game skid and taking their frustrations out on the Jets' rush defense. 3 touchdowns on the ground. Maurice Jones-Drew with 2 of them today. Troy, that's the guy you want to hand it off to in the UCLA alumni game. He's like a human bowling ball. Back to Joe, Troy, and Pam.
You're going to play in the UCLA alumni game, and if you do, Chris thinks you should hand it to Drew.
No, my days are over.
2nd down and 10. Over the middle, that's Creighton makes the catch. Hit and dropped immediately. 3rd down, a manageable 3rd down coming up after a gain of 6.
Tell you, so far I've been impressed with what this Eagles defense has done in terms of being able to get back there and harass Drew Bledsoe. And I think too many times we look at the end of the game as to how many sacks there are. Oftentimes just getting hit when you drop back to throw are more effective than actually being taken to the ground with the ball in your hand.
It's 3rd down and 4. Bledsoe has his arm hit again, and it's right through the hands of Lito Shepherd.
Joe, I doubt we're going to see this empty set by the Dallas Cowboys again today. This is the first time they went back to it since Drew Bledsoe got the ball knocked out of his hands in the 1st quarter. He gets hit again there, and this one should have been intercepted. Darren Howard again. I mean, having himself a heck of a game here in this 1st half.
I'll say. 2nd time he has hit the throwing arm with Bledsoe. The last one resulted in an interception. This one should have. McBriar hits a good one. Dexter Wynn from outside the 20. Room to run. And good field position as the ball comes out. And they are ruling that Wynn was down before the ball popped free. Good field position at their own 41 for the Eagles, who lead by 3. There's Howard. What a 1st half he has had. Hitting Bledsoe again. The Eagles have the ball on a 3-point lead. There is no doubt in my mind that the clock inside the mind of Terrell Owens is clicking. He's gone a quarter plus without a catch here in his big return to Philadelphia. Harriman's back in the lineup, and McNabb steps into that throw and slings it for a catch by Hank Baskett, a gain of 18 yards, and he went down to get it.
I'll tell you, Donovan McNabb makes a perfect throw on this ball. He keeps it low, which is where a receiver wants it. That allows Hank Baskett to go down and make the catch and protect himself. Actually pretty good coverage there. But a great throw always beats great coverage.
Henry on the coverage. Baskett has been busy. 1st down, Philadelphia. end. A little flip from McNabb. Catch by Schobel, the backup tight end. That's good for 16 yards.
I tell you, they're getting everybody involved now. When you get the ball into Matt Schobel, a guy who, coming from Cincinnati, didn't get a lot of opportunities, gets a few more here with the Philadelphia Eagles. But I think that's one of the great things about this offense, is that even when you lose a guy like Dante Stallworth, and whether he's a #1 guy or not is irrelevant, they do a great job of spreading the ball and getting everybody involved.
There's the afternoon so far for McNabb as Philadelphia hands to Westbrook, and over the right side, he gains 3. I referenced it earlier that there's no doubt that Terrell Owens is thinking about the fact that not only does not have a catch, but Bledsoe's barely looked his way with all the hype surrounding his return. And there's our first shot of him saying something over on the bench to the offensive line.
Yeah, and my experience, when you try to talk to the offensive line, they really don't want to hear it no matter who it's coming from.
2nd down and 7, and that pass caught by Westbrook. Williams on the stop. No gain. 3rd down coming up.
You know, the one thing the Eagles have not been able to do very well yet today is run the football. They came into the game running the ball exceptionally well, 7th in the National Football League. Of course, Andy Reid talked about it coming into this season, how he wanted to commit himself a little bit more to running the ball. He's never going to go entirely that direction. He's always been known as a guy who wants to throw the ball. But they have been effective, but they've not been today.
It's 3rd down and 7. Play action from McNabb, and he gets hit. The ball in the air and in the arms of DeMarcus Ware. DeMarcus Ware is gone. There are no flags on the field as the Dallas Cowboys have just taken the lead. Greg Ellis in the face of Donovan McNabb, and now with the celebration there are flags, but that's after the fact. Right now the touchdown is on the board and Dallas leads by 3.
Well, here comes the pressure. It's Greg Ellis who's able to get around the corner, and the ball just pops up perfectly for DeMarcus Ware. Now right here is where L.J. Smith has got to make the tackle. He never even made a much of an
celebration.
effort.
Number 90 of the defense, 15-yard penalty being forced on the kickoff.
I mean, the ball just shoots up perfectly into the hands of DeMarcus Ware. DeMarcus Ware, who has great speed for a defensive end, but that's a play that L.J. Smith has to be able to make.
Ben Ratliff was flagged for excessive celebration, which will be enforced on the kickoff as the Cowboys, just like that, with the Eagles attempting to add to their lead. It's Dallas that's out in front now by 4. The pressure by Ellis, his first year as a linebacker. The ball right into the lap of DeMarcus Ware. The long run of 69 yards for the touchdown. Dallas up. Well, so far neither team can block anybody. And the result, 5 takeaways, 17 points off takeaways. Ellis is the one who forced that last one, which goes down officially as a fumble. And right into the arms of DeMarcus Ware, who got to show that speed with his 69-yard return. Then the penalty for excessive celebrating, and the Eagles should end up with very good field position. Win on the return. Can't make the 40. Davis on that last stop. DeMarcus Ware needs oxygen over on the sideline for Dallas. And right now, McNabb needs some blocking.
Fox NFL Sundays, sponsored by Chevrolet, America's brand, Chevy, an American revolution.
Well, we've seen a lot. We've seen 24 points put up on the board. Each side has had their chance to get excited, and right now it's the Dallas fans, the brave souls who are here in Philadelphia with their Dallas gear on, cheering that touchdown by Ware. It's 14-10, and now McNabb with time has L.J. Smith wide open. The big tight end down inside the 5, and there may be a face mask on the end of it. Pat Watkins on the stop, and he got his hand up into the face of L.J. Smith. What an answer.
Well, that's just too easy. I mean, there was nobody within 20 yards of him. L.J. Smith at the tight end position. Roy Williams right there just lets him run right by him.
Foul, face mask. Number 25 defense. Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
Anytime the tight end releases vertical, if you're in that coverage, it's the safety's responsibility to pick up that guy. It looked like he was wanting to come underneath and help on the outside receiver. There's the face mask, but Roy Williams is right here. And that's his guy once he runs through.
60-yard catch and run to L.J. Smith. The ball is inside the 1.
59's eligible, 59!
And it's Buckhalter, the tailback, the guy who fumbled twice in the red zone last week, and the Eagles win over Green Bay. They fake it to him. McNabb fires too hard and behind L.J. Smith. Had him wide open.
You had him wide open. You're exactly right, Joe. I mean, you didn't have to throw the ball that hard. You got a guy wide open. Just lay it into his hands. Don't make it any more difficult than what it has to be. If he just lays it right there over Brady James. Of course, having said that, it's still a ball that L.J. Smith should catch.
Newman came up, looking at the fullback Thomas DePay, and behind him was L.J. Smith wide open, incomplete, 2nd and goal. That is DePay. He does not get in, 3rd and goal.
You know, you'd like to think for the Philadelphia Eagles that you can just hand the ball off in this situation and get the yard needed in order to score. They throw the ball on 1st down, should have been a touchdown. They go to a 1-back set on 2nd down, and they got absolutely no movement up front.
It's 3rd and goal. And touchdown, Philadelphia.
They go Nick Cole here at fullback. He does this some in goal line situations. You're talking about a backup center leading the way. Looked a little bit like Refrigerator Perry back in 1985 for the Chicago Bears.
He's 6 feet tall, 350 pounds, and McNabb just punched it in for his 3rd rushing touchdown of the season. So now it's Philadelphia back on top. And Akers will attempt to make it a 3-point game. (17-14). Donovan McNabb with a couple of completions. The big one to L.J. Smith. And on 3rd and goal, pushed it in. And now the Eagles back on top. The 60-yard catch, a big part of that 4-play drive. Donovan McNabb with his 3rd rushing touchdown. Makes it 17-14 Philadelphia with 9:13 to go in this half. Tyson Thompson already has 1 good return in this game. He gets to the 25 and stops. Reno Mahe was there to meet him. Dexter Wynn as well. How about the Giants in their win today? The last time you and I saw the Giants, It wasn't going very well up in Seattle, but they bounced back after their bye week and put up a win on Washington.
Well, if there was a team that really needed to have a win today, the Giants were that team. I mean, a lot of in-house bickering going on. It seems that they maybe have gotten it straightened out with their bye week, and a good performance and a big win within the division for them.
Brings them to 500 and puts Washington at 2-3. Starting at their own 25, Julius Jones out to the 30, picked up 5. Trotter on the tackle. Fox NFL Sunday next week as we look ahead. You've got those Giants at the Atlanta Falcons, and the Seahawks at the Rams, a good battle in the NFC West. The Eagles and Saints, Panthers at Ravens. A lot of good games on Fox next Sunday.
Absolutely, all those games are good. And for the Saints, Reggie Bush got his first punt return for a touchdown today.
It was the game-winning score. Ducking under some tacklers as Julius Jones gets 4. It'll be a yard, maybe a yard and a little more shy of a first down.
Well, this game so far here in this first half, obviously a lot of turnovers, but it has been about who has gotten good field position. When either offense has gotten good field position to start their drives, they've been able to come away with some points. The Cowboys not getting great field position on this particular possession.
Cowboys have turned it over 3 times, the Eagles twice. 3rd down and 1. Bledsoe to the sideline for Terry Glenn. Turns it upfield, turns it into a nice gain. They're going to mark him out all the way up at the Dallas 48. A gain of 14 yards.
Well, we talk a little bit about Terry Glenn and what he's meant to this team. I mean, so many times this year they've wanted to say that the presence of Terrell Owens is what has allowed him to have the year that he's had, but yet going back to last season, this was a guy who put up big numbers, over 1,100 yards receiving, 62 receptions. Just a terrific football player that goes unnoticed oftentimes.
Unnoticed to this point is Terrell Owens, as Julius Jones is knocked down right at the marker. Lito Shepherd on the stop, and you have to know that Terrell Owens is frustrated.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's so much talk coming in, primarily by him. I think there's pressure on Drew Bledsoe, and he talked about it this week in that he doesn't want to feel an urgency to get the ball to Terrell Owens if he doesn't feel that it's there. But yet he also feels that he needs to give him some opportunities. So far, he's only gotten 1, and that was intercepted.
On 1st down, another run for Julius Jones. Picks up 2. Darren Howard, who has had a nice first half, makes the tackle for Philadelphia, 2nd and 8.
I tell you, Darren Howard has been outstanding. And not only this game, he has been really effective in their other games as well. A guy who got franchised there with the New Orleans Saints in consecutive seasons. When the Eagles signed Javon Curse, they had actually targeted Darren Howard, but they couldn't get him because of the franchise tag. They finally got him here this year, and he's been a big impact player for this team.
The Eagles come on a blitz. Bledsoe has his arm hit again. Terrell Owens, the intended receiver, and Darwin Walker came through. And Bledsoe, for at least the 3rd time, has had his passing arm hit when he lets it go.
Well, Darwin Walker is here, and he is a mountain of a man when he decides that he wants to come off the ball and wreak some havoc. He just goes right on the inside there of Flozell Adams. And that's the area where they want to attack the offensive line, because they know that's the weakness of Drew Bledsoe, because they don't worry about him scrambling out and getting outside the pocket. They want to attack the gaps between the center and the guards when they bring pressure, and that's what they did on that play.
It's 3rd down and 9. Another blitz. Cowboys pick it up, and the pass is caught by Glenn. Terry Glenn to the 21-yard line with a big Dallas first down. 19-yard completion to Terry Glenn.
And that's what happens when you are able to provide just enough time to get the ball out. They again bring pressure. Now you see the offensive line doing a better job here of shoring it up. Bledsoe still has free blitzers in his face, but now you're one-on-one on the outside. Joselio Hansen on Terry Glenn is never going to be able to cover him, but he's just hoping that the pressure can get to him before the ball comes out.
Cowboys 2 for 2 on 3rd down on this drive. Toss to Julius Jones. Thought about bouncing it all the way outside, cut it up in game 3.
You know, Jim Johnson, in visiting with him last week against the Green Bay Packers, he probably blitzed Brett Favre as few times as he's gone after any quarterback since he's become defensive coordinator here. And the reason was these young defensive backs for the Eagles and the fact that Brett Favre was running 3-step drops. talking with him the other day, he said, regardless of what the Cowboys do, I'm going to bring pressure, and I'm going to continue to bring pressure on Drew Bledsoe.
2nd down and 7. Bledsoe in the pocket with time, throws, and it's incomplete. In and out of the hands of the rookie Anthony Fasano. Jim Johnson will tell you he likes to blitz about 20% of the time, and last week against Green Bay only 5 or 6%, but he's dialed it back up this week.
You know, the one thing about him is that he is a coach that he has a unique game plan for every opponent that he's getting ready to go up against. And Brian Dawkins told me on Wednesday when they do installation, he can't wait to see the blitzes that Jim Johnson has dialed up for him.
3rd and 7.
Here they come.
Another blitz and a handoff to Barber. 3 for 3 on 3rd down during this drive are the Dallas Cowboys, and it's 1st and goal from the 8 as Barber got 9.
Well, they show safety blitz. They're going to come here and then watch where Marion Barber goes with the ball. He's going to go off the left tackle there. A heck of a hole right through the middle. And that's just sometimes you call a play, and it's the right play for the blitz that you're getting ready to get, and that's what happened for Dallas.
First down and goal, Julius Jones. Not much, picked up a yard.
Tell you, Drew Bledsoe has really been under besiege, in this game. But the good thing for Dallas is that they have continued to at least run the football. Julius Jones not picking up a lot of yards when he has run it, but they're sticking with it, and they're going to have to be able to do that to keep these pass rushes for the Eagles from teeing off on them.
Terrell Owens at the bottom of the formation. Bledsoe rolling right. Will tuck it and go and dive. Touchdown. Touchdown Dallas as Drew Bledsoe dives for the goal line. It was a line judge on the far side who called touchdown. And let's take a look and see if Bledsoe gets in.
Yeah,
I'd say he did.
I think he does too, Joe. He comes down right on the goal line. That would be a touchdown.
It is called a touchdown. And Dallas back out in front with the extra point coming to try and make it a 4-point game. 3 for 3 on 3rd down during that drive as the Cowboys kept the chains moving. Terrell Owens has been not a factor at all in this half. But Dallas has put up 21 points. Bledsoe, Troy, not really known for the speed or running the football, but he cut it upfield and took a dive and made it.
Well, and here's why. You're going to see Dhani Jones right here, or excuse me, he's right here, and he's in coverage, in man-to-man coverage, and he doesn't know that Drew Bledsoe is running the ball until the very last minute. Had they not have been in man-to-man coverage, then Dhani Jones is able to get turned around and make the play. Here he is running with Julius Jones. And then once he finally does realize that Bledsoe has the ball, it was too late.
Andy Reid was going to challenge the call and then watch the replay board, and back into the back pocket went the red flag. And Bledsoe gets his first rushing touchdown of the season. Parcells a moment to get excited, and now Dallas back on top by 4.
And I think the big play in that drive was when Bledsoe was able to hang in there and get the ball out to Terry Glenn to keep that drive going. And that's the type of game it's going to be for the Dallas Cowboys and Drew Bledsoe. He's going to get hit a lot, and the Eagles are going to make some plays, and they're just hoping that they're able to make enough big plays in order to score points, which is what happened.
Sweezum is handling the kickoff chores today for Dallas. And Dexter Wynn is back for Philadelphia with under 3.5 to play. in this first half. Sweezum pops it up. Dexter Wynn on the return right up the middle. And Sweezum is the one who sticks his nose in there and makes the hit after a 21-yard return. Remember Randy Moss? Here is Chris Rose with a game break.
That's right, Joe. Out in San Francisco, the Raiders have the lead as Randy Moss becomes the 7th player with 100 touchdown catches. Just like T.O., Moss was upset they didn't celebrate his 100th TD grab until he realized he was in enemy territory, and he said, I'm okay with that. Back to Joe, Troy, and Pam in Philly.
That was nice of him. 13-7 is the score there as the Oakland Raiders lead at San Francisco.
Moss is still in the league, huh?
He is.
Don't hear much from him anymore, do we?
Except for the headlines talking about his situation and saying he wouldn't mind being traded. That's to pay the fullback, and he's brought down a loss on the play. Lost half a yard, and it was Ellis out there on the stop. Sweezum, who was in on that tackle on the kick return by Dexter Wynn, is being checked for a concussion.
Yeah, those guys generally don't have helmets that are designed to get involved in tackling somebody. You can bet if they stick their head in there, they're going to walk away with something hurt.
Second down and 11. McNabb throws and underthrows. No, that's not Terrell Owens. That's Avant. They're even booing Avant. They think he's throwing at Terrell Owens for the Eagles. Those days are gone. It's Avant who has the, I would say, unwanted number of 81.
Well, so far, I mean, the Eagles defense has kept Terrell Owens under wraps. Of course, having said that, they're down 4 points.
Well, you were the one that said this was more than Terrell Owens against the Philadelphia Eagles.
Well, I think it is, and I don't know who else thought that coming in based on the coverage he was getting.
Third down and 11. Setting up a screen. Westbrook, first down. Third down and 11, and Westbrook picked up 13.
You know, again, they come back to the screen. I mean, they're so effective with this. And then watch the play here of John Runyon. Greg Ellis, who's been wreaking havoc so far on McNabb, is getting up the field, trying to get pressure on him, and then that's what opens up the lane underneath for Brian Westbrook to pick up the first down.
We are going to hit the 2-minute warning. The Eagles have all 3 of their timeouts remaining. They are trailing by 4 and have a first down at their own 45 here in Philadelphia.
Fox NFL Sunday is sponsored by Visa. Go on, live life, and remember that no matter what it takes, life takes Visa.
Visa halftime report. Kurt, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy will have scores and highlights from around the league, and the Fox Sports ticker will keep you updated with up-to-the-second stats. There they are getting ready. With Joanna getting all their makeup all purdy. Right now, this is football, and from their own 45. With 2 minutes to play in this half. McNabb sets up and it's batted down. Spears got his hands up and knocked that one away with Westbrook, the intended receiver. Either his hands or his helmet.
You know, Sean Andrews was the one on Marcus Spears, and the thing, I don't know if Marcus Spears did anything other than just get blocked, and then the ball goes right into his helmet. But Sean Andrews, the right guard, has been doing an absolutely terrific job, both in run blocking and pass protection.
The only thing Spears did was be 6'4". Second down and 10. McNabb buying time and throws incomplete. Pass in and out of the arms of Westbrook. It's 3rd and 10.
Well, they had a nice little drive going here and good field position on this with first down. They've not been able to do anything with it on first and second downs, and you know, an opportunity with just under 2 minutes left here in the first half to try to come away with some type of points, which would certainly help them going in at halftime. But in order to do that, they're going to have to convert here on 3rd and 10, and the Cowboys have been pretty good this season stopping teams on 3rd down.
And now Philadelphia will use their first timeout. In case you're wondering, should Dallas get it back, They have 3 timeouts left. We are playing football here in Philadelphia. This evening in St. Louis, it's game number 4 of the best of 5 between the Padres and the Cardinals. And a matchup of 2 right-handers. Chris Carpenter, the Cy Young Award winner from last year for the Cardinals, against Woody Williams, a former Cardinal who has a great history of pitching at Busch Stadium. That's at 8 o'clock right here on Fox, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific.
It was quite a celebration the Tigers had last night, huh?
I'll say.
Oh, man.
It was a celebration worthy of a World Series win.
I hope they'll be ready to play when? On Tuesday?
Tuesday night with Mike Tademir with his Tigers jersey. Over the middle, the pass is incomplete. And on 3rd down, the Eagles can't convert. 1:45 remaining in this half. And the Cowboys will get it back with plenty of time and 3 timeouts left.
Well, that's a disappointment there for the Philadelphia Eagles, to be 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line and not be able to do anything with it after that. It's got to be disappointing for them going in at halftime.
Creighton waiting for the punt. And it calls for the fair catch. Takes it in at his own 16-yard line, and the story here in the first half has been turnovers. One through the hands of McBriar. The result, Westbrook in for the touchdown. McNabb having his arm hit. DeMarcus Ware, 69-yard return. No real effort there to make a tackle by L.J. Smith, and Ware is able to walk right in. A total of 5 turnovers and 17 points off turnovers in this first half.
Well, it'll be interesting to see with the Dallas Cowboys with 3 timeouts as to whether or not they're going to try to move the football and come away with points. Obviously, plenty of time left here in the first half, but because of the pressure the Eagles have been getting on Bledsoe, I think they need to be careful on this end of the field.
And with that being said, they hand to Barber. And Barber gets back to the line of scrimmage. A timeout is taken. And the timeout taken by Philadelphia. They have 1 left. By the way, Bledsoe, who scored the last touchdown, running it in. First 7 years of his career had no rushing touchdowns. The New England Patriots, the last 7 years, he has rushed for 9, including his first of the season here. The last points put up on the board to make it 21-17. And you, how many did you have?
Oh, half a dozen. But they weren't runs like that. I mean, usually more like what Donovan McNabb had. 3rd and goal from the 1-foot line. Let's just sneak it in behind that big offensive line.
Did you go to Larry Allen's side just about every time?
Pretty much, and I will tell you, we didn't even have a quarterback sneak on our offense till about my 6th year in the National Football League, and which some people find just unbelievable, in itself.
That's why you love Norv Turner so much. Always protecting his little quarterback. 2nd down and 10. Play action. A screen to Witten. Sheldon Brown whiffs on the tackle. Witten with plenty of room to run, and he is wrestled out of bounds out across the 30. Sheldon Brown had a chance to make a big stop and could not bring down Jason Witten.
Well, he just goes to his knees and then ducks his head. I mean, Sheldon Brown generally is a sure tackler. He's a tough guy, and one of the things that this defense likes about him the most is that he is such a sure tackler, but is unable to make a play there on Jason Witten. Terrell Owens, you can say a lot of things about the guy, but I'll give him his due. He does a heck of a job blocking downfield, and I say it each week, there's not a lot of guys in this league that are willing to do that.
Keyshawn Johnson, Masin Muhammad, probably the 2 best. Owens is on that list, is Bledsoe with all day, throws behind Creighton. Creighton is slammed to the ground by Barber, and it's 2nd down.
Flozell Adams, he struggled in week 1 against Jacksonville, but he's gotten better each week since then. He missed a lot of games last week because of a knee. Look at the job he does here on Darren Howard. I mean, he just closes him off. That's why Drew Bledsoe had all the time to throw the football. Now they don't capitalize on it on the other end. A ball that was a little behind Creighton.
An ugly throw from Drew Bledsoe came out of his hand weird. Now with 1:13 left in the half and all 3 of their timeouts. It's a second down handoff to Julius Jones. Considine on the stop, and he'll be a yard shy of a first down. And the timeout is taken by Dallas. 1:03 left. The Saints came back as Reggie Bush got his first touchdown. The game-winning punt return for a touchdown, and the New Orleans Saints are still on top in the South with a record of 4-1.
You know, we talked about it a little bit last week when we had the Saints and the Carolina Panthers. They lost that game, their first loss of the season, but yet they put out a really good effort in that ball game against a good team. And then where Tampa Bay is, who knows, but a good team, it appears. They're going to have their hands full again next week against these Eagles.
Here you go. Ed Svita, our statistician here in the booth, handed me the card. Why don't you read it?
Well, go ahead.
Career rushing touchdowns, Drew Bledsoe 9, Troy Aikman 9.
And I did it in fewer years.
It's the biggest smile I've seen on you all weekend.
I don't know what any of my numbers are, Joe.
Just leave that to others. 3rd down and 1. Terrell Owens has been shut out here in the first half.
Thank you, Svita.
Philadelphia's own Ed Svita.
Where is he when I really need some information?
Cheering for the Eagles. 3rd down and 1. Crowd gets into it. They've been relatively quiet for this first half. Barber wrestled down. He didn't get it. It's 4th down. And now Philadelphia should use their final timeout. It's 4th down as Marion Barber didn't go anywhere, and Trent Cole came in and made the stop.
Yeah, he just got right underneath the block by Fasano and is able to make contact there in the backfield. I mean, Marion Barber just never really had a chance to even get going. Good job there.
So Philadelphia takes their final timeout. 57 seconds left in what has been an exciting first half. And the Eagles will get the ball back with Dexter Wynn waiting for the punt.
And there's the look of Bill Parcells. He doesn't always say a lot, you know, during the course of the ball game, but he will stare some people down. And you know when he's got his eyes on you. I think right now Anthony Fasano and that offensive line are the recipients of that stare. Then again, sometimes he does say something.
Wow. That's the rookie from Notre Dame. Don't know that Charlie Weiss ever talked to Anthony Fasano like that on his way back over to the sideline. As McBriar hits a line drive punt over the head of Wynn and into the end zone. Did you ever have one of those coaches that could give you a stare like that when you came back to the sideline after messing up?
You know, Jimmy was pretty good at the stare. I don't know that I always got it, but he would certainly, you know, you talked about it a little bit on the pregame show today. He treated players a little differently. He made no bones about that, but he did give the stare to some other guys.
What did it look like?
What did it look like?
Yeah.
I can't do something like that. It looked a little meaner than that.
It did.
But, I will tell you that Bill Parcells, when he gives it, nobody's making fun of it.
I mean, this is his 4th year, and everything is kind of built toward this year. This is the best version of the Cowboys he's had. And people believe that this might be it for him with Dallas if it doesn't work out. Oh, off the hands of Brown and to the ground. Little slant, and Reggie Brown was wide open, and Donovan McNabb threw it off his shoulder pads.
I mean, it beat him up is what it did. I mean, you watch the ball here. He's stumbling to begin with, but I mean, the ball had a lot of velocity on it, but this is the NFL. And Reggie Brown coming in and not able to make the play, on that pass. But I'll tell you, Donovan, he certainly doesn't take anything off it, regardless of what depth these receivers are running routes.
2nd down and 10. Westbrook, they've been doing this a lot, and the Cowboys were waiting for it. Greg Ellis was out there to make the stop, and the crowd here is groaning and getting frustrated. A gain of only 1, and remember, Philadelphia is without a timeout.
When I'm a little surprised, well, now it happens, but a lot of time came off the clock. I thought that Dallas would have used a timeout much sooner. I mean, this is unbelievable the way these two teams have handled the clock here in this situation. Right now, the last thing Philadelphia wants is to give the ball back to Dallas with any opportunity to put together a couple plays and come away with points.
There's that Arizona score with Matt Leinart getting the start in place of Kurt Warner. It's 3rd down and 9. The Cowboys, who lead by 4, hoping to get the ball back one more time before the half. The halftime show is coming up. Kurt, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy, scores and highlights. And it has been an interesting day around the NFL this week 5, 2006.
Well, I've got to believe here, Joe, on 3rd down that they're going to run the football. I don't know why you would want to throw it here and try to take a chance, but they are in the shotgun formation.
Dallas with 1 timeout left. They do run it, and making the play is Jay Ratliff. And the Cowboys will use their final timeout and should end up with decent field position.
Well, they will, but at least by running the football, Philadelphia forces the Cowboys to use their last timeout. Now it's just a matter of, can you get a good punt off and pin Dallas back?
Patrick Creighton is waiting for the punt from Dirk Johnson. And after a fast start, remember the Eagles jumped out in this game 7-0. Got the turnover, had a chance to make it 14-0. The Dallas defense held. Philadelphia had to settle for a field goal. Dallas has won the battle since that moment. Ugly punt by Johnson, and Creighton will take it at the 40. 18 seconds left in the half, and Drew Bledsoe back out on the field. He has been knocked around this entire half.
And that's been the whole key coming into this game. Jim Johnson and this defense wanted to harass Drew Bledsoe, and they have been able to do that. They've created some turnovers. They've gotten after him. Unfortunately for Philadelphia, the offense really just has not taken advantage of all the opportunities that they had. It appeared early in this game that the Eagles could have blown it wide open, but they failed to do that.
For what?
So the discussion happening down over the football between members of this officiating crew. Looking at that card, and I don't know if they're questioning how many timeouts are left. All the timeouts have been burned, and for whatever reason now, with the referee Bill Levy getting involved in the discussion, 18 seconds left, and whatever they were talking about is settled. We'll see if the Cowboys can add anything to their lead here before the half. Crowd is being begged to get into the game. Bledsoe steps into the throw, and he throws it through the hands of Creighton, actually Barber. And now 14 seconds remain.
Marion Barber, he didn't look like he wanted any part of that one. Ball went right through his hands.
One of the parts of that discussion could have been timeouts. They have put a timeout on the scoreboard for the Dallas Cowboys. So they do have a timeout left. But they have only 14 seconds remaining in the half, and the ball is at their own 40. Bledsoe with all day, and now has it knocked out of his hand from behind. That was Howard again. And that will do it for the first half of play here in Philadelphia. What a half for Darren Howard in his first year with the Eagles. Good first half of football. 21-17 is the score. Dallas on top. Visa halftime show coming up. And we welcome you back to Philadelphia. Moments away from the start of the second half. 21-17, the Cowboys lead. Here's a weird point, and I'll bounce it off you. Do you think in any way, and I kind of do, that Terrell Owens being shut out in the first half has kind of taken the crowd out of this game? They were so ready to get fired up about Owens. The crowd really has not been much of a factor at all in this game. You know,
I think maybe that has something to do with it. I also think the turnovers by the Eagles have had something to do with it. This is a team, as I said, as we were ending the first half, that they really could have blown this thing open very early in this ball game. I mean, they're playing well. The defense is playing well. Donovan McNabb has thrown the ball well, and yet here they are trailing at the half. And so I think it's still a game here in the second half about who can create some big plays and then who's going to not make the big mistakes, some of which we saw there in the first half.
There is a reminder about our fantasy statistics. And you can log on to foxsports.com, powered by MSN, and check out your fantasy players, whether it's Bledsoe, McNabb, Jones, Westbrook, Terrell Owens. No catches. Dallas will start with a football in this second half, up by 4. Tyson Thompson on the return. The Irving, Texas native, out to the 26. I just heard the voice of Pam Oliver. Pam, are you ready to go?
Yes, I am, Joe. The Cowboys may be enjoying a slim lead in this one, but Bill Parcells knows that his team is in for quite a fight. He told me at halftime that he told his players that the game starts now. Forget about the pregame. Forget about the first half. The game starts now. I asked him about any particular worries. He assured me I didn't have enough time to go over his worries. Back to you.
You can hear him saying it. Thank you, Pam. First down for Dallas as we start this second half with this first play from scrimmage from the 26. See if Bledsoe tries to get Owens involved. Has room, trying to outrun Darwin Walker, and he dives for a first down. Terrell Owens, a focal point in this game, getting the guys fired up.
It ain't about me. It ain't about the Eagles. It's about us. Yes, we're going to do it one time only.
It ain't about me. It's about us. And the guys around him, while he's been shut out, have put together 21 points and lead by 4.
Well, Bledsoe on that last play was trying to get the ball into Terrell Owens, but again, good coverage by this Eagles secondary.
Now they get it into Owens' hands, and that's where he's great. Not good, great, with yards after the catch. And his first catch is good for 9+ yards.
And again, it's Sheldon Brown that fails to make the tackle. I mean, people recognize, even though this is his first reception of this game, that he is going to catch some balls, but when he does, you got to make the tackle. And not that that's an easy thing to do, but there was contact there right after the ball was in Terrell Owens' hands, and he should have been able to make that play.
From the year 2000 through 2005, Terrell Owens #1 in the NFL in yards after the catch. #2, Rod Smith from Denver. Julius Jones over the right side is wrestled down. That's Barber with a play, no gain, third down and a yard coming up.
Well, good play there by Sean Barber. He shows you some of the speed that he has. Julius Jones trying to bounce that thing out to the outside. And Barber running stride for stride there with him.
Third down and 1. Marion Barber. Darren Howard, what a day. That pulls this crowd back into the game as the Eagles defense stiffens up and forces a Dallas punt.
Well, it's just a good job by Darren Howard and not very good there by Marion Barber. As soon as you start to hesitate and try to go lateral when it's 3rd and short, you're not going to pick up the first down.
Darren Howard with 6 tackles and a sack today. He's been in Bledsoe's face all day. Breyer hits a boomer into the end zone. So the Eagles hold defensively as the Cowboys start the half with the ball. Now it's Philly's turn, down by 4.
NFL Sunday is sponsored by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 41. By HDTV, powered by DLP. It's amazing. It's the mirrors. By Lowe's, for all your home improvement needs. Lowe's, let's build something together. And by the Ford Mustang, bold moves, they happen every day.
Over on the sideline after that last possession, Terrell Owens starting to blow up.
You know, it's always been a mystery as to who's calling the plays for the Dallas Cowboys. It's probably by design with Parcells. He doesn't want Owens to know who to scream at.
First play from scrimmage offensively for this Philadelphia team, down by 4. Handoff to Westbrook is good for 5 yards. Yeah, it's kind of a play calling by committee. They've got Chris Palmer, the quarterback's coach, Todd Haley, the wide receivers coach, and Tony Sperano, the offensive line coach. Take your pick. And then Parcells, who's obviously a big part of that.
Well, I'm sure he'll get a hold of all of them before the day's over if it continues like this.
2nd down and 5 for the Eagles. McNabb throws behind his intended receiver, Hank Baskett. 3rd and 5.
And we talked a lot about Donovan McNabb coming into this game, and you know, certainly all of the attention was placed on Terrell Owens and what it meant to him to come in here to Philadelphia. But you know, I got to believe there's tremendous pressure on Donovan because he wants to win this game more than probably any other game he's played, with the exception of the Super Bowl. And so far, he's played actually very well.
No huddle approach by the Eagles here. Movement up front. They let the play continue, and the pass is caught by Avant. It's 3rd down and 5. If this is against the Cowboys, that will take the ball right to the marker and probably give Philadelphia a 1st down.
Yeah, and it should be on the defense by the fact that they allowed the play to continue.
Bill Levy, the referee, making sure of the call.
Offside defense. 5-yard penalty will leave the Philadelphia Eagles just short of a 1st down.
So just short, it'll be by inches, literally, of a 1st down with the ball right at the 30, but just inches short of a fresh set of downs.
Well, and the Cowboys defensively have done a good job on 3rd downs here today against the Philadelphia Eagles. They're not converting as well as what they had coming in. Significant 3rd down right here to be able to keep this drive alive and not give the ball back to this Cowboys offense.
A throw on 3rd and inches, and it's tipped and incomplete. Not able to line up and run for a couple of inches. They throw for L.J. Smith, and it's 3 and out.
Yeah, and I don't like that call, Joe. I know the Cowboys are tough inside. I know their front 7 is very physical, a big group. But on 3rd and inches, you got to have some confidence in your group up front in being able to get the yards necessary. Now that ball there was tipped, but I would have liked to have seen him run it.
Dirk Johnson with a punt. Terrence Newman is waiting for it. His first chance to return a punt today. And Newman is dragged down. Good play by Quentin Michael. Back at the 25-yard line, and you can see the frustration on the face of Donovan McNabb. Good play by Michael. Cowboys have it for the 2nd time in this 2nd half, up 4. Matt McCoy, the starting weak side linebacker, was banged up on that last punt coverage effort by the Eagles. Needed some help getting off the field. We'll check on his condition. Not out on the field, and first down for Dallas from their own 25. Up by 4, and a handoff is to Julius Jones. Jones picks up 5. Game break is coming up. You saw that Giants score. They win 19-3 at home over Washington, and that means that the Redskins are under 500 at 2-3 and at the bottom of the NFC East. Philadelphia 3-1, Dallas 2-1. Second down and 5 for the Cowboys. And the handoff to Jones. Julius is a yard shy of a first down. 3rd and short coming up. Chris Rose with a game break.
All right, Joe, this time it's the Niners' turn to pick on the winless Raiders. Alex Smith to Maurice Hicks, who does most of the work on this screen. For Smith, it's the first 3-touchdown passing game of his career. Niners up 21-13. By the way, Troy Aikman, 10 career 3-touchdown games. I sound like a stalker, Joe. Back to you.
That's all right. It's flattering.
A little worried about Chris.
3rd down and inches now for Dallas. And Bledsoe lost the football and still pushes the pile forward for a first down. That just goes back to what you were saying with the Eagles and McNabb on 3rd and inches. Instead of sneaking it with McNabb, who's very good at it, here's Bledsoe. Can't handle the snap and still picks it up.
Yeah, and then what that points out is that the Eagles defensively got absolutely no push in the middle. I mean, if they'd gotten any kind of push whatsoever, there's no way that Drew Bledsoe is able to pick up the first down there after dropping the ball first. One of the few times, actually, that this Eagles defensive front has not gotten the push.
First down, Dallas. Bledsoe with time underneath and off the hands of Julius Jones. 2nd down and 10. Tuesday, October 31st on Fox. The Emmy Award-winning smash hit House returns with all new episodes only on Fox. Viewer discretion is advised. Back on Tuesday, October 31st, right here. Second down and 10 for Dallas. Handoff is to Julius Jones. Julius picks up 2.
Well, we've seen at times today where the Eagles have brought pressure in the middle and the Cowboys have had the right play called and been able to get outside that time. The Eagles were able to bring pressure inside, and that's exactly where the Cowboys were going with the ball.
We've seen a lot of Barber. Matt McCoy, who was injured covering that last punt, has been dealing with a hip pointer all day. And it's 3rd and 8 here for Dallas. Timeout, Dallas. The Eagle liked it. So do these fans as they jump back into the action, making noise. 3rd and long when we come back. 3rd down and 8 for Dallas. Our Fox fan chat. I bet this is Drew's last year in Dallas. They still don't have a long-term solution for quarterback. And JS Sooner fan, and I would say that Tony Romo, they hope, is their long-term answer at quarterback. Signed him to a 2-year extension with a $2 million signing bonus before the start of the year. Had a great preseason. 3rd and 8. A blitz, and Bledsoe goes down in the arms of Trent Cole. His 6th sack of the year.
Well, there you have it. You got 3rd and long, and Jim Johnson dials up the blitz and goes one-on-one on the outside. Trent Cole, the defensive end, the guy who really replaced Javon Curse. They run a twist. The Cowboys fail to pick it up, and Drew Bledsoe didn't have a chance. I mean, he's got an opportunity down the field because of the one-on-one coverage. But again, they're banking that pressure will get there in time, and it did.
Vic Pryor hits another good one. This guy's got a great leg. Dexter Wynn from about the 10. Nowhere to run to at the moment. Wynn is trying to do his best and can only get it out to the 13. The hit and the sack by Cole. Frustration with the outside receivers and Terry Glenn. Philly has it down 4. Ten times the Eagles defense has blitzed. Jim Johnson has sent his crew after Drew Bledsoe. They've sacked Bledsoe 3 times and forced an interception. Worst starting field position for Philadelphia. McNabb buys some time, goes deep, hits Basket. Hank Basket stays on his feet and rolls to the end zone. 87 yards. A word or two from Parcells to Mike Zimmer, his defensive coordinator. Pat Watkins, the rookie free safety, was a part of that play. An 87-yard catch and run by Hank Basket, who's been more of a factor today than Terrell Owens. And the first career touchdown for Basket, putting Philadelphia back on top by 3.
Well, and what happened was they brought the corner blitz here off the edge, and what happens then is Patrick Watkins has to come over to Hank Basket and cover him one-on-one. Just a perfect call. The double move is what gets Patrick Watkins to suck up on the route. And then Donovan McNabb able to buy just enough time and lay it up. And Hank Basket does a heck of a job of running it down and then breaking the tackle. You take a chance with the corner blitz by Anthony Henry. And Patrick Watkins, the rookie, who is a heck of a player, but just not prepared for Hank Basket running the double move in that situation. Usually when you see a corner blitz, it's going to be a quick throw. And that's what Patrick Watkins was expecting. A good design by the Eagles with the blitz, running the double move on the outside. And Donovan McNabb doing a heck of a job in the pocket, just avoiding the rush and buying just enough time to be able to get the ball out there in his hands.
Just inside the 25, Watkins had a chance to bring Basket down, couldn't drag him to the grass. McNabb celebrating the 87-yarder. And it was all McNabb at the start of it, buying some time, stepping up, unloading, and now he and Andy Reid share a smile.
You know, Andy Reid talked about wanting to put a double move on Anthony Henry. He was not expecting the blitz. It was going to be a double move on the corner, but they brought Henry, and it became a double move on the safety.
The 4th lead change of the day. Now it's the Eagles on top by 3. Tyson Thompson on the return. Still on his feet in good starting field position for Dallas, down by 3. They'll mark him down very close to the 38-yard line of the Cowboys. Baseball is coming up right after this game. It's game number 4 of the divisional series between San Diego and St. Louis. Chris Carpenter, the reigning Cy Young Award winner, against Woody Williams, a former Cardinal, right after the OT. 7:19 to play third quarter. Bledsoe with plenty of time finds his tight end Witten. And Witten is to the Philadelphia 45. 17 yards from Bledsoe to Witten.
Well, now what you're seeing is the rolled safety over the top here, 2-on-1 on Terrell Owens. They've mixed it up enough. He's not been double covered every single snap today. They've mixed it in. They also doubled the outside with Terry Glenn, and that's why Jason Witten was open on the inside.
Witten fell down, got up, made the 17-yard reception, and now Jones is dragged down by Cole. No gain.
You know, Jeremiah Trotter, I tell you, He was a heck of a player before he left the Eagles a few years back, and when he returned, he's become the player that he was the first time around, and he's the guy in the middle who really creates havoc and just blows the interior offensive line up. On that play, he was able to get pressure, and a good thing that he did, because had they been able to get by that initial surge, they had room to run.
Trotter with eight tackles today. And now on a ton of pressure, Darwin Walker is in the face of Bledsoe. It was another blitz from Philadelphia, and Walker came through.
Well, we just talked about Jeremiah Trotter and the way that he likes to approach this. He's a downhill linebacker, and you're going to see him coming up inside. And then by the offensive line having to take him, it opens up Darwin Walker then, and nobody's able to block him. A nice twist there between Jeremiah Trotter and Darwin Walker.
More sacks allowed today than in their first 3 games against this very good pressure defense from the Eagles. 3rd and 15. 3rd and 20. Although they let it go, now they throw the flag. The ball's knocked out. This play did not happen. As the back judge comes running in through the flag, the play clock expired. It'll be 3rd and 20.
Prior to the snap, it was delay a game offense. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
I tell you what, Joe, this defense right now is in an absolute frenzy. I mean, when they sense that they're able to get to the quarterback at will, Jim Johnson is going to keep dialing up and keep bringing it. And until this interior offensive line for the Cowboys shows that they're going to be able to protect, you can bet that they're going to keep coming.
Jim Johnson has blitzed on every play this drive. It's 3rd down and 20. Out of the backfield, it's Barber. And a nice play. Lito Shepherd, the ball comes out. They're going to say that Barber was down as Lito Shepherd came off his block, made the tackle, a gain of only 2. It's 4th down.
I tell you, that was an impressive stand right there by this Eagles defense. They showed blitz on the play that got stopped. The Cowboys thinking blitz again, and Jim Johnson plays coverage, only rushing 4, and is able to make the stop.
McBriar trying to down it inside the 20. And a muffed punt. But Dexter Wynn was able to get back on top of it. Almost a deadly mistake by Lito Shepherd made the play. The Eagles get the ball back. And Owens and his frustration over on the Dallas bench. Sperano, the offensive line coach, talking to his group on the Dallas sideline. The Eagles have it at their own 10, leading by 3. That's Westbrook. Picks up 2. This has been the story this season for the Eagles from Donovan McNabb and their leading receivers. Week 1, Stallworth, great debut against Houston. Week 2, L.J. Smith with 111 yards against the Giants. Reggie Brown in Week 3 against San Francisco. Lewis last week against Green Bay. Today, Hank Baskin. Second down and 8. Pass is caught. Brown on the reception, a 16-yard completion.
So you look at those numbers that we just showed as the Eagles here go into a no-huddle offense, and what it really points out to you is that as long as they have efficient receivers and they have Donovan McNabb, they're going to be successful throwing the football. I mean, I don't believe they've got a go-to guy, but they've got a collection of really good players. And when Donovan's throwing the ball like he is today, they're an awfully difficult team to defend.
No go-to receiver, but they have a go-to quarterback. It's 1st down and a handoff to Westbrook. Nothing. Good work by the Dallas defensive front.
Yeah, and you look at this game today, Joe, I mean, what they have done a good job of in the previous games is running the football. They've been very effective doing that. It takes a lot of pressure off your quarterback. But here today, they have not run the football well. In fact, the Cowboys have been able to stop their run with 7 defenders. And so a lot of pressure on Donovan making plays. And then you got Mike Vanderjagt.
How about that?
He's counseling Terrell Owens.
How about that combination? Don't let Parcells see that. That is off the hands of Westbrook. I think you can make this point. To this point, the more frustrating of those two between Vanderjagt and Terrell Owens from Bill Parcells' standpoint and what's going on with his team has been Vanderjagt, the kicker, because he doesn't know if he can count on this guy.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think Bill Parcells is not happy about always having to answer questions about Terrell Owens. He wants to talk about football. But the guy who has been frustrating for him has been Mike Vanderjagt.
This week having to carry and activate 2 kickers. Vanderjagt does not have to handle kickoffs. It's 3rd down and 10 and a blitz from Dallas. Westbrook won't get there. Good play by Ellis, who came off the edge and was the first to get his hands on Westbrook, and it's 4th down for Philadelphia.
You know, they had a chance there. You know, Donovan McNabb made the call at the line of scrimmage, but it just so happens they're trying to run this right into the teeth of a blitz. Patrick Watson coming up inside there, but then you've got Greg Ellis who falls back and is able to make the play. If he had gotten past that one last line, that would have been a huge gainer.
Johnson with another punt. Newman on the return. And Terrence has nowhere to go. Well covered downfield by the Eagles and Sean Barber. Very good special teams coach here with Philadelphia and John Harbaugh. We'll stay here while the offense for Dallas comes onto the field. 5 combined turnovers in the first half. Ware with a big fumble return for a touchdown. Donovan McNabb pounded it in, but for good measure, so did his counterpart Drew Bledsoe. And to this point, 1 catch for Terrell Owens. The latest big play, 87 yards out of the hand of McNabb and into the arms of Hank Baskett. That one skipped in. Incomplete for Terry Glenn, who was wide open. Bledsoe couldn't get it out there.
Well, we're starting to sense the frustration. We showed it on the face of Terrell Owens, but you know, Terry Glenn is also getting frustrated. I mean, these guys know that if given some time, because of the injuries to the secondary for this Philadelphia Eagle team, there should be some opportunities. And yet, when they've had the one-on-one coverage, this offensive line has not been able to protect for Drew Bledsoe.
That is the entire key to this game so far, is the pressure on Bledsoe not having time to pick apart this secondary. Owens drops it.
They finally put Terrell Owens on the inside. You see him watching. He was looking to see what was out in front of him. He's just afraid he's going to get hit. You know, he slowed down Michael Lewis there. Of course, these guys practiced against each other while he was with the Eagles. He knows that Michael Lewis will certainly put a hit on you. And it looked like he was waiting for it and held up on the route.
3rd and 10, Bledsoe. Again, down he goes. Jaquay Thomas. Well, that possession for Dallas had it all for the fans here in Philadelphia. A defensive stop, a drop by Terrell Owens, and it ends with Jaquay Thomas wrapping up Drew Bledsoe.
Yeah, and he started to take a run up in the middle, and then Jaquay Thomas came off the block of Colombo, and it gets to a point where as a quarterback, you don't even know what you're watching.
Nick Pryor hits it off the side of his foot. Dexter Wynn on the return, and he is upended by Keith Davis. Well, if the question is, are we watching the 2 best teams in the NFC East? I would say the answer to that question is yes. And if that's the case, what are we seeing between these two with Philadelphia and Dallas.
You know, I mean, hey, this is what you expect with two teams in the NFC East, two teams that expect to be battling for, you know, the lead position within the division. And it is as dominating right now as this Eagles defense has been. It's amazing that it's still just a 3-point game. I mean, the Cowboys are a long way from being out of this ball game, but yet you just get the feeling that offensively, you know, where the play is going to come from. I mean, this defense has been stifling here in the second half.
And if you can't protect Drew Bledsoe, if you can't keep him with hands off him and not give him time to work on this secondary for the Eagles, which is banged up, and you're going to have a long day, and that's been the case for this Dallas offense, especially in this half. Going deep and overshooting everybody is McNabb for Hank Baskett. Let's go to Chris Rose for a baseball update. Chris.
That's right, Joe. A huge day of sports continues on Fox after football. The reigning NL MVP Albert Pujols takes his tax against former Cardinal Woody Williams in Game 4 against the Padres. Mike Piazza dreams of playing his former team, the Mets, in the NLCS, but first he's got to send the series back to San Diego. Cards and Padres on Fox after football, Joe.
After football, after the OT from Philadelphia. Second down and 10 with 29 seconds left in this third quarter. Four-man rush. McNabb steps up and slings it behind his receiver Brown through his hands. 3rd and 10.
Well, that's one of the few bad balls that Donovan McNabb has thrown. Again, sometimes it just looks like he puts a little bit too much on it when he really doesn't have to. And the recipient of those fastballs today generally has been Reggie Brown. And he had him open. They're going to this no-huddle offense. I really haven't seen them get much out of it since they've gone to it. You know, I mean, they're calling the plays, they're taking their time, but they've not been able to move the football down the field when they've gotten into this no-huddle.
3rd down and 10. McNabb throws, and it's nearly picked off. Good defensive play by Glenn. Greg Lewis, the intended receiver, and Aaron Glenn sneaked in front and had good position on that.
I tell you, Aaron Glenn, he had an opportunity there on the outside on Greg Lewis. Looked like it was a ball that he very easily could have caught. Greg Lewis was playing more defensive back there than he was wide receiver.
Now it's Creighton back to return the punt. Patrick on the return can't make the 25. That means that with under 10 seconds to go in this third quarter, Drew Bledsoe and this offense will go back to work. And after a decent start in the first half, this offense has done zip here in the second half.
You know, you're right, and unfortunately for the Eagles, their offense really hasn't done a great deal either. I mean, for as good as this defense has played, the Eagles have dominated the game enough that they should be leading by more than 3 points.
Seven seconds to go in the quarter, and it's Julius Jones out to the 30, bangs into the body of Terry Glenn, his teammate. It will be 2nd down and 2 when we start the fourth quarter. It's a 3-point Philadelphia lead at 24-21. The NFL on Fox will continue. We begin the fourth quarter. Philadelphia up by 3. Dallas with a football, 2nd down and 2 at their own 30. Sheldon Brown just left for being injured on that last play of the third quarter, and Julius Jones is wrapped up and tackled. Looks to be just shy of first down yardage. Trent Cole on the stop. And Bill Levy is calling timeout, evidently to bring the chains out. Just short of first down yardage, so here we are again. 3rd down and inches. It's the 3rd time we've had that in this half. Last time the Cowboys converted on a botched snap, and Bledsoe picking it up and plowing forward for the first down.
Well, it'll be interesting. I mean, when you're backed up here like this, but they've struggled really getting anything going. I'm not so sure that this isn't the time that maybe you try taking a shot down the field. If you do that, would you go for it then on 4th down? I don't think you would. And knowing Parcells' nature, I think it's something that he won't want to try to exercise either.
And pushing the pile forward. It totally depends on the spot. Bledsoe taking it. You can see the line judge with his right foot. If his right foot and our line are both accurate, and that's where they place the football. Looks like Bledsoe was inches short, but they're going to call the chains back out onto the field.
Well, let's see if they get any kind of movement. Andre Gerard, that's who Bledsoe's trying to get behind. Pretty much a stalemate there.
Yeah, wherever they put the ball now is one thing. I think if they were to review that, it certainly didn't look like Drew Bledsoe picked it up.
No, it looked to me like they got a pretty favorable spot.
And they get the first down. Boy, that replay. And Andy Reid has got the flag in his hand, and he is thinking about it. It sure looked on that replay when we took another look at Bledsoe with that quarterback sneak that he didn't pick it up, and that they got a great spot, the Dallas Cowboys.
I agree, Joe. I don't think he made it. I think Andy Reid wins that if he challenges it, but in a game like this, the timeouts will be crucial late in the game.
Not worth the risk, evidently. So mark that. Here's Terrell Owens across the middle of the field. Hops out of bounds for the first down. Out of bounds at the Dallas 44.
Well, sorry, Joe, they haven't been able to get anything to Terrell Owens on the outside. I mean, clearly he wants to get up the field. He's in the slot, and this is where he caught his last ball. And he's going to catch a lot of passes if those are the routes that he's going to run. I mean, then the job is for the secondary and these linebackers to be able to get him to the ground. But the outside corners have done a good job throughout the day, not allowing him a big play.
First down, Dallas. Julius Jones breaks through the middle of this defense and picks up 9. So just keep it in the back of your mind as we watch this drive unfold. That 3rd down and inches. Andy Reid toying with the idea of challenging it. He thought better of it. Put the flag back in his pocket and was willing to let the play stand, not challenge it, and let's see where this drive leads now.
And it was obvious somebody that he was communicating with upstairs was telling him that it may very well be worth challenging.
2nd down and a yard, and the Cowboys hand it to Jones, who picks up the first down. Second effort got it to the Philadelphia 45. Now also keep this in mind. The Cowboys are moving down the field, and their kicker is Mike Vanderjagt, who last week missed from 26 yards at Tennessee and was quoted after the game as saying, "I took a mental holiday." But a guy who is very proud of the fact that he has the best all-time field goal percentage at 87%.
He takes a mental holiday today. He may have a full-time holiday on his hands.
That you can be sure of. First down, Dallas. Bledsoe setting up a screen for Julius Jones. Has blocking out in front of him. Julius Jones down the sideline. A screen for Julius Jones, a 22-yard gain, and they mark him out of bounds at the Philadelphia 23.
T.O.'s again, he's going to run the crossing route. See the attention that he gets, and by doing that, then all of a sudden you run the screen out the backside to Julius Jones. Good execution, good design there by the Dallas Cowboys.
Kyle Kozar, first-year guard, first year with Dallas, out there leading the play. Here's a blitz and a quick throw to Terrell Owens, dangerous. Lito Shepherd was there waiting and almost jumped in front of the pass.
He was waiting for it, Joe. In fact, I think that if he had had a little bit more confidence in really believing in what he was seeing, he could have intercepted this ball and been the receiver on it. I mean, he jumps in there, slows down just a little bit, and makes a play on it. But right there, when you have that type of situation and corner jumping it, Then as an offense, what you want to try to do is pump that same route and see if you can't maybe give a cheap one in behind him.
2nd and 10, another blitz. Julius Jones. Cole is there for the stop. He had help with Patterson. Gain of only 2, 3rd down for Dallas. 3rd down and 8. Bledsoe over the middle, underthrows Owens. Had more pressure in his face. And now the aforementioned Mike Vanderjagt will come on and try and tie it with a 39-yard drive.
Well, a heck of a job here. Rogelio Hansen, again, I mean, he gets physical with Terrell Owens. Granted, there was pressure there in the face of Drew Bledsoe, but the fact that they are allowing him to match up like that in what was a very critical situation shows the confidence Jim Johnson has in Hansen.
Parcells does not believe in this kicker yet. That will help. Now 221 of 253 in his career. That ties this game at 24 here in the 4th.
By the all-new 2007 Wrangler, a new species from Jeep. By Visa. Go on, live life, and remember that no matter what it takes, life takes Visa. By Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Gatorade, it's in the NFL. Is it in you? And by Microsoft. Software for the people-ready business.
The Delaware River. A beautiful night in Philadelphia. It's October the 8th. This has the feel of a playoff game. 24-24 with 11:14 to play. 4th quarter as you watch the final scroll across the top of your screen. Chicago with that big win over Buffalo, putting up 40. Dexter Wynn on the return. Wynn runs into the arms of Sam Hurd. Bledsoe on the phone, and Terrell Owens firing up the Dallas defense. They head to work. So does Donovan McNabb, tied at 24. Philadelphia will start at their own 24. This game is tied at 24. We'd like to welcome those of you watching other games as this game has moved into the 4th quarter and Greg Lewis makes his first big play of the day. A reception from Donovan McNabb, this NFC Eastern Division game. Lewis is all smiles, and why not? 24 yards from Donovan McNabb.
Yeah, Greg Lewis on the inside. He runs the crossing route, and they just let him go. Devin Burnett there on coverage. And boy, they needed a play there. You know, prior to coming in on that possession, of course, they had the 87-yard touchdown pass, but other than that, only 29 yards of total offense here in the 2nd half. That should get them going.
Buckhalter gets it. Carell, who fumbled twice last week, picks up 4. If you are just joining us, we saw 5 turnovers in the first half. Thing got off to a fast start. We have not seen much offense here in the 2nd half. Drew Bledsoe in his day, 163 yards. He's had hands in his face and had his arm hit all day long as he's been getting rid of passes. Owens has 2 catches for 21 yards. That's it. McNabb 289 yards, but 2 big completions in this game. One to L.J. Smith, one to Hank Baskett. 2nd down and 6. It's Lewis on this side. And Greg Lewis has another Philadelphia first down. 8-yard completion from Donovan McNabb.
A nice job there by Donovan McNabb. Greg Lewis on the slant route, and there's going to be a safety out in front of Greg Lewis, and so it's a ball you really want to put on your receiver, and it's exactly what he did. And as you see Greg Lewis, rather than continuing to run, Donovan puts it on him. He's able to protect himself from the hit and yet still pick up the first down.
9.5 to play. And a flea flicker. McNabb waiting for Brown. There's a flag on the play, and Brown in the end zone. Touchdown. Penalty flag on the play, back at the 25-yard line. A handoff to Buckhalter. He flipped it back to McNabb, who threw a strike. And it looks like this play will stand.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense, penalties decline. Touchdown.
Philadelphia back on top.
You're going to take a look at it on the flea flicker. Roy Williams back in coverage is playing the middle safety. And he has a chance here to make the play. And he just takes a bad angle on the ball and thinks the ball is going to be underthrown. He had a chance to get over the top, Joe, and actually intercept that ball. It's the second time we've seen Roy Williams in coverage allow a big play.
This one 40 yards with a touchdown throw to Reggie Brown. And it's Philadelphia up by 7, and for McNabb, his 5th straight game with multiple touchdown passes. The other one to Basket, this one to Reggie Brown, and Philadelphia out in front by 7. Reggie Brown gets his 3rd touchdown of the year. Beautiful throw from Donovan McNabb, 40 yards. A 76-yard drive in 4 plays and just over 2 minutes off the clock. Still 9:13 left in this game. The Eagles were offside on this kickoff as Tyson Thompson covers it in the end zone.
Take another look at Reggie Brown here on the double move, and then you've got Patrick Watkins here, and then you've got Roy Williams here. Now Patrick Watkins, this is his guy. He bites up, and then he's getting beat. But Roy Williams, as you see him on his angle, he had a chance to get there and help Patrick Watkins out. Patrick Watkins ultimately is responsible, but Roy Williams there is in good position. I don't know what happens. He just loses the ball when he's in flight.
Number 38 of the kicking team, 5-yard penalty, re-kick.
We talked about that stare from Bill Parcells and the rookie Watkins with his head buried over on the sideline, and Parcells talking to him, staring at him, and it's a little different feel over on the other sideline.
Well, Joe, I'll tell you, when that ball was in the air, I really thought that Roy Williams was going to be over the top and intercepted, because it was so, for the slot receiver to be able to make that play and not have a safety get over the top of that to break it up was surprising to me.
Talking about our chat room, putting up some of the quotes. FoxSports.com/game tracker. This game setting up to see McNabb's true colors. Can he win the big one? Birdland, Pennsylvania, and I guess that is really what McNabb, I'm sure, is feeling. You talked about it outside of the Super Bowl in 04. You know this game meant a lot. It means a lot to Donovan McNabb.
I think there was enormous pressure on Donovan McNabb coming into this game, and he has played exceptionally well. He's made the throws when they've been there. He's not made the mistakes to hurt his football team. He's been outstanding.
It's an offside on that last kickoff, so Akers will kick it again, this time from his own 25. If you want to join in on the chat, log on to FoxSports.com, keyword chat. From the 6, Tyson Thompson. And Thompson is out to the 35-yard line. It has been a very good day for this Philadelphia Eagles defense.
We get on the doggone field. Whatever you got, let me get that. I mean that, dog.
Out of the mouth of Brian Dawkins, their leader on defense, and they have been in Drew Bledsoe's face all day. .9:07 to play. Dallas down by 7. Bledsoe throws in the direction of Terrell Owens, incomplete. Trent Cole with more pressure on Drew Bledsoe They've allowed 256 yards. They've sacked Bledsoe 5 times and taken the ball away 3 times.
And I mean, they've hit him a whole bunch. I tell you, as a quarterback, I can tell you from experience, when you play the Philadelphia Eagles, if you're a quarterback, you're going to get hit. And Drew certainly has today.
Eagles show blitz. Bledsoe changes the play. They back out of it, and Terrell Owens makes the catch. Big catch by Terrell Owens. They'll mark him out inside Philadelphia territory, inside the Eagles 42.
Well, good job by Terrell Owens, just getting physical at the line of scrimmage and then watching the ball in, and more importantly, well, it looked like he got his feet in at first, but now I'm not so sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Easy.
A good job by him getting them in.
Cowboys rush to the line and snap the ball. We've seen Andy Reid now with the challenge flag in his hand 3 different times. He had it in his hand on that last completion to Terrell Owens, but clearly Owens secures it and got both feet down on the grass. Andy Reid thought about it. Somebody upstairs said nope, it was a catch, and he pulled it back. Barber on that last carry, good for a yard. Here's a blitz by Philadelphia. They roll Bledsoe out to the right. Terry Glenn makes the catch. Inside the 35, out of bounds at the 33, good for 6. Lito Shepard on the tackle.
Well, pretty good design there by the Cowboys, sensing pressure up inside. So now they're starting to move the pocket a little bit with Drew Bledsoe. I'm a little surprised, actually, that they didn't get to this a little bit sooner in this ball game.
It's 3rd down and 2. Bledsoe Owens gets behind the defense, and it's picked off. Lito Shepard. Terrell Owens underthrown, and Lito Shepard was waiting there for the interception.
No, I don't know what happened on this play. It looked like Terrell Owens did not come off the ball at full speed. And then Drew Bledsoe just underthrew it as well. I don't know if maybe when he saw Terrell Owens not coming off the ball at full speed, if he thought that he didn't have to get the ball out as far. You saw Terrell Owens try to put maybe a double move. But I'm not sure exactly what happened. I mean, there was no question that whatever it was Drew thought that Terrell Owens was going to do is not what he did.
So Terrell Owens, it looks like, not only fooled Lito Shepard, but fooled his own quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, he came off at 3/4 speed, and then once he made the second move, he got by Shepard and was wide open. But whatever it was, it threw Bledsoe off.
Now on 1st down, McNabb fires and completes it. Reggie Brown has been involved in this second half. Good for 17 to Brown. Now for that Eagles defense, 2 interceptions to go with the 3 sacks. And Terrell Owens screaming, "Are you kidding me?" over on the sideline when he got back after the interception.
It's a tired act, isn't it?
It just continues. Doesn't matter what uniform he's wearing. He and Bledsoe just did not connect. This is Buckhalter. And Buckhalter fights for the 1st down. The OT presented by Lowe's is coming up immediately following this game. The scores and highlights from this week 5 around the NFL. And that will take you up to baseball, which comes your way at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, with the Padres and the Cardinals from St. Louis. 6 to play in this game. Buckhalter again. Picked up 2.
Well, know, such a big run by Correll Buckhalter, picking up the first down 2 plays ago, that if there was ever a time in this ball game that the Eagles want to be able to run the football and pick up yards, it's right now. If they can take the ball down the field, take time off the clock, and come away with points and make this a 2-possession game, that's huge. However, the Cowboys are still playing coverage and believing that they can stop the run with a 7-man front.
Second down and 8. Westbrook. They do stop the run here. Westbrook picked up about half a yard, maybe 1. And we look at the day for Donovan McNabb. He has made some big completions. L.J. Smith, Hank Baskett for the touchdown. And then the completion to Reggie Brown on the flea flicker, 40 yards and a touchdown.
I mean, really, Joe, if Donovan McNabb hasn't been the guy completing passes to move the ball, this Eagles offense doesn't move the ball because he's not gotten any help from his running game today.
Third down and 8. Here's a blitz. McNabb slings it out of the reach of everybody. And so Terrell Owens has got to try and cool himself down over on the bench. Now he's all happy because the defense forced a 4th down, but he's over there screaming while the defense finally shuts down the Eagles' attack here in the 4th quarter, and a punt is coming from Dirk Johnson. Terrence Newman is back to return the punt. It's a line drive. And Newman goes nowhere. Michael throws him down. So on the last possession, Terrell Owens getting behind Shepard. He and Drew Bledsoe not connecting. Saying he's wide open on the bench. He goes back to work. Dallas down 7. We've seen Terrell Owens screaming over on the bench, the Dallas sideline. There's nothing new here. And this is what you get with Terrell Owens. You get the amazing athletic ability, the true tough guy to get himself back on the field after injury, as he did for the Eagles in 04, as he did after the broken bone in his right hand, taking the bye week off and getting back into the action last week at Tennessee. You could superimpose a different uniform on him and it's the same act. There's contact there, and it's Rogelio Hansen making the play on Terrell Owens, who can't make the catch at 2nd and 10.
And I'll tell you right now, I mean, the Philadelphia Eagles have played one-on-one outside. I mean, you look at it, they got a safety in the middle, one-on-one everywhere else. And Rogelio Hansen, each time that Terrell Owens has gotten in the slot, he's been the guy whenever they have been matched up one-on-one who's gone with them. This secondary for Philadelphia has done a good job.
3 catches, 45 yards. 2nd down and 10 for Dallas. Blitz from Trotter. Bledsoe at least turned the play into a positive as he takes it out to the 20-yard line. Gain 4. Darwin Walker on the tackle. We have said the name Darren Howard all afternoon, and Darwin Walker having trouble getting up. This is a defensive front that runs in one substitution after another. They stay fresh, and they have stayed after Bledsoe today.
That's right, and we've talked a lot about Darren Howard. I'll tell you, the MVP, as far as I'm concerned, is that guy right there, Jim Johnson. I mean, he has called himself one heck of a ball game.
Under 4 to play, 3rd and 6. Dallas has 2 timeouts left. Johnson dials up another blitz, and it's a quick throw to Witten, who hangs on, I don't know how. Got a big hit from Michael Lewis, dragged down by Barber. A gain of 7 and a huge Dallas 1st down.
Philadelphia brought pressure on every single snap there, those first 3 plays. They get the ball quickly into the hands of Jason Witten, and he got pounded.
He got hit by Lewis, Barber, and Lito Shepard. It was the hit by Shepard that you would have thought would have knocked the ball free. It didn't. And now whistles prior to the snap. 3:10 to play.
The play clock operator put 10 seconds on the play clock, 10 seconds.
Sean Barber was shaken up on that play as well on the big hit. The reception by Witten.
And Bill Levy, our referee's losing his voice.
3:06 and counting. First down, Dallas. Can Bledsoe lead him down the field? It's through the hands of Owens and almost into the hands of Fasano. Second and 10.
Well, Bledsoe on this play had some time, which he's not had a lot of. But that's a ball there that Terrell Owens normally would catch.
A handoff to Julius Jones. The Eagles were blitzing. Considine makes the stop. A very good open field tackle. A gain of 6.
Tell you, that's a great play right there by Sean Considine. He's over the top, helping out with Terrell Owens. There's nobody there. Julius Jones one-on-one in the open field, and he can't make him miss. It's a good tackle in the open field. Guy who was hurt most of last year came back this year and has been impressive for this team.
4th round pick last year from Iowa. 3rd and 4. Another blitz. Great jump by the Eagles defense. The pass is broken up. No penalty flag, and it was Shepard into the body of Terry Glenn. Timed it perfectly according to the officiating crew. It's 4th down with 2:17 to go, and the Cowboys keep their offense on the field.
You know, they go to that kill again with Drew Bledsoe in order to maximum protect. He sees blitz. That's what tells the guys he wants them to stay in. One-on-one outside, and you see Lito Shepard never even gets out of his back pedal. I think right now the Cowboys, not here on this play because they're more concerned with picking up the first down. But at some point they got to take a shot down the field because these corners are sitting on the routes.
Now Dallas, even with the clock stopped, has to burn a timeout. They have only one left. But if they want any chance of tying this game, they've got to convert a 4th down and 4. On Thursday, November 2nd on Fox, Brad Garrett is back with an all-new episode of Till Death. That's Thursday, November 2nd, to the conclusion of the World Series, only on Fox. Jolie Fisher, Brad Garrett, the stars of Till Death. And now Bledsoe, you can see from that jersey how much pressure he's been under, how many times he's been dumped onto the grass here at the link, as they call it, and it's 4th down and 4 for Dallas.
Well, what's interesting to me, Joe, is that these corners are going to sit at 5 yards or 4 yards because that's where they need to get for the first down. Boy, if you had anything in you, this would be the time to where you may want to take a shot. Now it's 4th and 4 and a big play.
No blitz. Bledsoe throws, and the pass is caught by Patrick Creighton to keep the Cowboys alive.
Tell you, that's a sign of a pretty good quarterback right there. When on 4th down, the game on the line, and you're able to hang in there and deliver a good ball to Patrick Creighton for the first down.
Bill Parcells wanted to get one more play away before the 2-minute warning. The Cowboys couldn't. 2 minutes left in Philadelphia.
Fox NFL Sunday is sponsored by the new AT&T. Your world delivered.
With the rest of you, all Donovan McNabb can do is stand there and watch. Coming up right after this, the OT presented by Lowe's. Scores and highlights, the Fox Sports ticker, and then baseball for you, the Padres and the Cardinals. First down, Dallas, 2 minutes left. One timeout remaining for the Cowboys. Thomas coming off the edge. Bledsoe with all day, and he goes down. held on to the ball forever. And Bledsoe is sacked by Darwin Walker and Jaquay Thomas.
You just could not take the sack there. He had all the time in the world to either find somebody, or if you couldn't do that, just get the ball out.
And there's no urgency here by the Cowboys with the clock winding down. Now a three-man rush from Philadelphia, and they still get there. That's Howard. His best day as an Eagle.
I tell you, they bring three guys, and Darren Howard is able to help. Terry Glenn on the outside again against Joselio Hansen. He's got help over the top. And that's why Bledsoe couldn't get it to him. But what a job by this defensive front. Again, rushing three.
Low snap, Bledsoe. Underneath, Barber. Not much. Only 10. It's going to be 4th down and long, and the Cowboys will spend their final timeout. So the Cowboys convert, Troy, on that 4th and 4. They get a first down with the ball up at their own 45, and Drew Bledsoe hangs onto the ball forever, takes the sack, and now the Cowboys are just scrambling to try and come up with something on 4th down and 18.
Yeah, and good luck. You know, I mean, right now, this is not an easy situation to be in if you're the Philadelphia Eagles, because they know they've got to get the ball down the field. So it will be vital that this defensive front be able to get pressure on Drew Bledsoe and not allow him time to try to find somebody down the field. The game right here, at least for the Eagles, they stop them, they win. But give this secondary some credit. They came in, a lot of people talking about them, and what a great job they've done today.
How about this? This Eagles defense has allowed 3 points the entire second half. 31-24 is the score. The Eagles on top. Darren Howard with 7 tackles, 2 sacks, a forced fumble. 4th and 18. Low snap. Bledsoe's going to air it out. Back behind the defense, and the penalty flag comes in. I think Glenn caught it anyway, and the penalty flag comes in to give the Cowboys a 1st and goal. This flag is against the Eagles, so either way, they've got 1st down and goal. Wow.
Well, Michael Lewis is the deep safety. He lets Glenn go right by him. He falls for the square in route.
Number 32 defense. 1st down at the spot of the foul.
The ball did come out, but they called pass interference on Michael Lewis right there.
Yeah, and it was the right call, but if you're the safety, the last thing you can allow is for a receiver to run by you. Now, Terry Glenn started on the square end. He got Michael Lewis to bite on it, and they're fortunate that it wasn't a touchdown.
The ball at the 6. 38 seconds, no timeouts. Bledsoe, end zone, incomplete. Terrell Owens the closest one to it, and that hit the base of the goalpost. 2nd and goal.
We got Terrell Owens working the inside of the field again on the crossing route. Just a lot of traffic there with Terry Glenn underneath it. But right now, I mean, they've got 3 shots into the end zone.
It was a 57-yard penalty on Michael Lewis to set up this opportunity. 2nd and goal. Bledsoe into the end zone, and he's picked off. Back the other way. Lito Shepherd all alone. The Philadelphia Eagles take it over Dallas. interception for Shepard and a 102-yard return to ice this game. A guy who missed 3 games with a severely sprained right ankle, his first game back. And he delivers the crowning blow for this outstanding Philadelphia defense.
Well, you're going to see Terry Glenn comes in motion, and it looked like he might have had a shot right there had he have snapped it off and hooked up. But it looked like Drew Bledsoe was expecting Jason Witten to continue on the outside. He did not, and that's why it looked as ugly as what it did. Lito Shepard standing on the outside of Jason Witten was then able to make the play. And I tell you, if you're Drew Bledsoe, that's a lonely feeling over there on the sidelines. We had a great shot of him after that play.
So Bledsoe throws the interception into the arms of Lito Shepard, who went 102 yards for the touchdown. Lito, who had a 101-yard return off an interception at Dallas back in 04. And Bledsoe trying to explain himself to Parcells.
And I think he was trying to explain that he expected Witten to stay on the move to the outside. When you get down in the red zone like that, everything happens so fast, Joe, that you've got to get the ball out. And you're just relying on guys being on the same page as you. Clearly, they were not there. But again, to reiterate the job that this secondary did, Lito Shepard having missed the last 3 weeks, he comes in not 100%. Without Rod Hood, this defensive secondary, with the help of a great pass rush, did a terrific job today.
16 seconds remain. The Cowboys will get the ball. They are out of timeouts. That's Glenn on the return. And this defense can be on the field for one last moment, allowing just the 3 points in the second half. And they were singing the Lito Shuffle almost the entire way down the field as Shepard took it 102 yards.
Well, they ought to be, sorry, Joe, they ought to be singing the Donovan McNabb shuffle as well, because for a guy who came in and so much attention paid to this game, and knowing how important it was for him to come out and play the way that he played and to come out victorious, that was a great performance by a great player in this league.
Don't forget the OT presented by Lowe's coming up right after this game. Tell you what happened all day long across the NFL as Barber takes it, and that will do it here in Philadelphia. Jim Johnson and his defense, he deserves that smile. They shut down Owens, 3 catches, 45 yards. And McNabb and the Eagles come out on top. We'll come back and wrap up our day here in the booth right after this. 38-24, Philadelphia wins it.
Eli and the Giants